we are facing a global obesity epidemic, it seems like, everywhere you turn.
Mm-hmm.
And traditional weight loss methods, well, they often fall short.
Yeah.
But what if there was a way to not just shed those extra pounds, but to work with our body's natural systems,
Right.
to achieve a lasting change?
That's the incredibly exciting potential we're going to be diving into today, the world of incretins.
Ooh.
These are hormones that are produced in our gut that play a really critical role in regulating both
Well,
blood sugar and appetite.
So we're talking about a whole different approach here.
Yeah.
One that goes beyond, just counting calories or hitting the gym.
Precisely. And to understand this new frontier, we really need to grasp the concept of the incretin effect.
Okay.
It's a fascinating phenomenon that really highlights the gut's crucial role in metabolic control.
Okay, let's break that down a little bit. I know it has something to do with how our bodies handle glucose, right?
Yes. You see, when you eat glucose, your body releases this surge of insulin, much more so than if you were to inject glucose directly into your bloodstream.
Right.
And this difference points to a critical connection between the gut and the pancreas.
Got it.
The organ that produces insulin.
So it's not just what we eat, but how our bodies process it starting in the gut. That's fascinating.
It is. And at the heart of this gut-brain connection are two key players, GLP-1 and GIP.
Okay.
They're these incretin hormones that are released soon after we eat. GLP-1 is produced in the lower part of the small intestine, and it has this multifaceted role.
Got it.
It boosts insulin release when needed, suppresses the release of glucagon, which raises blood sugar and slows down digestion to keep things moving smoothly.
And crucially, it acts as a messenger to the brain, signaling that feeling of fullness.
Exactly. It tells your brain, hey, we're good here.
Right.
Let's put the fork down.
We're full.
But GIP, which is produced higher up in the small intestine, is a bit more complex.
More complex. How so?
While it's also involved in insulin release,
it
has this kind of intriguing link to fat storage.
Interesting.
And its effects can actually vary depending on a person's metabolic health.
So in a healthy system, these hormones are working together in harmony.
Right.
Keeping blood sugar balanced and appetite in check.
Yeah.
But in conditions like obesity and type 2 diabetes.
That's where the symphony starts to sound a bit off-key.
Yeah.
The incretin system gets disrupted.
Okay.
Insulin release becomes sluggish.
Got it.
Glucagon levels rise, and those natural satiety signals weaken.
It's like a communication breakdown between the gut and the brain.
Totally.
No wonder it's so hard to lose weight and keep it off under those circumstances.
Exactly. And this breakdown creates this vicious cycle.
Right.
High blood sugar leads to increased hunger.
Of course.
Which drives us to eat more.
Yes.
But then that excess energy gets stored as fat, further worsening insulin resistance.
Right.
It's a frustrating and often demoralizing battle.
But as I understand it, researchers have been trying to leverage the power of these incretins, particularly GLP-1, for some time now.
That's right. They recognize the potential of mimicking these natural hormones to kind of restore metabolic balance. But there's a fascinating twist in this story. For a long time, GIP was kind of overlooked, even considered counterproductive for weight loss.
Counterproductive? Why is that? I thought it was supposed to help regulate blood sugar.
It does, but initial research focused on its association with fat storage, which seemed like a step backward when aiming to combat obesity.
Right.
But as science often does, newer research revealed a more nuanced and ultimately far more promising picture.
So GIP isn't the villain it was once made out to be?
Not at all. In fact, it might just be the unsung hero of metabolic health. Recent studies have shown that GIP can actually have positive effects on insulin sensitivity and glucose tolerance.
Interesting.
Especially when combined with GLP-1 activation.
So instead of focusing on one pathway, we're now talking about a more holistic approach.
Exactly.
That engages both GLP-1 and GIP.
It's the twincretin concept.
Ooh.
Harnessing the power of both hormones together for a more potent and comprehensive metabolic intervention.
Okay, that's where things start to get really interesting. We're talking about working with the body's natural systems, not just trying to override them.
And that brings us to the game changer we're deep diving into today.
Tirzepatide.
Tirzepatide. I've heard whispers about this new medication.
It's a meticulously designed synthetic peptide that does something quite remarkable. It activates both GLP-1 and GIP receptors.
Wow.
essentially unlocking the full potential of the incretin system.
So tirzepatide is like a master key.
Designed to open the doors to better blood sugar control, reduced appetite, and potentially even fat burning.
You got it.
Wow.
And preclinical studies were already showing tirzepatide's remarkable efficacy in both weight loss and blood sugar control, even surpassing the results seen with just GLP-1 agonists alone.
Wow, really?
But the true test came with the Surmount trials, a series of groundbreaking studies that aim to put tirzepatide through its paces in real-world settings.
Got it. The Surmount trials, these are the ones that have been making headlines in the medical community, right? I'm eager to hear what they revealed.
These trials were designed to assess tirzepatide's efficacy in managing both obesity and type 2 diabetes. And the result, well, let's just say they sent shockwaves through the field.
Okay, on the edge of my seat, where do we even begin with these trials? There's so many of them.
Let's start with Surmount-1, which focused on individuals struggling with obesity or who were overweight but didn't have diabetes.
All right, so this was about seeing how tirzepatide performed in a population grappling with weight management. What did they find?
The results were, in a word, astounding. The average weight loss on the highest dose was a staggering 20.9%.
Wow.
Can you believe that? Almost 60% of the participants shed at least 20% of their body weight.
Wow, that's incredible. But what about those who are already dealing with both obesity and type 2 diabetes? Was there a trial focused on that group?
There certainly was Surmount-2 focused specifically on that population, and the findings were equally impressive.
Tell me more. What kind of impact did tirzepatide have on this group? Were they able to see improvements in their blood sugar control as well?
That's precisely what they were looking for. And the results exceeded expectations.
Really?
Almost half of the participants achieved normoglycemia, meaning their blood sugar levels returned to a healthy range.
So we're not just talking about weight loss here.
Right.
Tirzepatide is actually addressing the underlying metabolic dysfunction of diabetes.
Precisely. It's like tirzepatide was hitting the reset button on their metabolic health.
Yeah.
And this is something that traditional weight loss methods often struggle to achieve.
It's remarkable. But I'm curious, what about those individuals who are already incredibly dedicated to a healthy lifestyle? Those committed to diet and exercise. Can tirzepatide still offer them any additional benefit?
That's a great question. And that's exactly what researchers set out to investigate in Surmount-3. They wanted to see if tirzepatide could further enhance weight loss in people already engaged in intensive lifestyle interventions.
So essentially they were looking to see if tirzepatide could give those already putting in the hard work.
Exactly. And the answer was a resounding yes.
Wow.
Even for those already diligently following a healthy lifestyle, tirzepatide amplified weight loss.
Interesting.
Underscoring its potential as a powerful tool that can work in concert with lifestyle modifications. It's like a synergistic effect. Lifestyle changes plus medication working together for optimal results.
Precisely.
Yeah.
But, as we all know, the real challenge with weight loss isn't necessarily losing the weight, but keeping it off over the long term. That's where the findings of Surmount-4 become truly significant.
Got it. Ah, yes. The dreaded weight regain. It's the bane of so many people's existence. Tell me, how did tirzepatide perform in this trial?
Surmount-4 was specifically designed to tackle that challenge head-on. And what it revealed was groundbreaking. It underscored a fundamental truth about obesity. It's a chronic condition that often requires ongoing management, not just a temporary fix.
So in this trial, did they have participants lose weight and then stop the medication to see what happened?
That's essentially what they did. Initially, everyone in Surmount-4 lost a significant amount of weight on tirzepatide, over 21% on average.
Wow.
But then they split the participants into two groups. Okay, I'm sensing a but coming here. What happened to these two groups?
One group continued taking tirzepatide, while the other group was switched to a placebo, and the results were stark. Those who remained on tirzepatide continued to lose weight, reaching a total average reduction of 26%.
Wow.
But unfortunately, those switched to the placebo regained a substantial portion of the weight they had lost.
So this trial really highlights the need for long-term strategies in managing obesity. It's not a quick fix. It's about finding sustainable approaches that work in harmony with the body's natural mechanisms.
Absolutely. And tirzepatide's ability to help people maintain their weight loss long-term is a huge step forward.
It's groundbreaking, really.
Yeah.
But it also raises important questions about the long-term use of medication. Is this something people would need to take indefinitely to maintain those results?
That's certainly a key consideration. More research is needed to determine the long-term effects and safety of tirzepatide. But even with those questions, it's important to remember that medication is just one piece of the puzzle.
Right. It's not a magic bullet. Lifestyle changes like diet and exercise remain absolutely crucial for long-term success.
Precisely. But what's so encouraging about tirzepatide is that it can be a powerful tool to support those lifestyle changes, making it easier for people to adopt and maintain healthy habits.
It's like it's giving them a much-needed boost, making those changes feel less daunting and more achievable.
Exactly. And the impact goes beyond just the physical.
Yeah.
Imagine how empowering it must be to finally feel in control of your weight, to see those positive changes reflected not just on the scale, but in your overall health and well-being.
It's about reclaiming your life, your health, your confidence.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
The Surmount trials captured some truly inspiring stories from participants.
Oh, wow.
People who were finally able to engage in activities they had given up on, to keep up with their children or grandchildren, to simply feel comfortable in their own skin.
These are the stories that truly matter. The ones that demonstrate the profound impact tirzepatide can have on people's lives. It's about so much more than just a number on the scale.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's about improving overall quality of life, both physically and emotionally.
Right.
And the implications extend far beyond weight loss alone.
Yeah.
The Surmount trials revealed tirzepatide's potential to improve a range of health markers, suggesting a more holistic approach to managing metabolic disease.
Right. We've been so focused on the weight loss aspect, but we haven't even touched on the potential cardiovascular benefits.
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
Participants in the Surmount trials saw improvements in several key cardiovascular markers, suggesting that tirzepatide might not only help people lose weight, but also protect their heart health in the process.
So tell me more about these cardiovascular benefits. What exactly did they observe in the trials?
Well, they saw reductions in blood pressure.
Right. Improvements in cholesterol profiles, both the good and the bad kind.
Got it.
And even a decrease in markers of inflammation, which plays a significant role in heart disease.
So tirzepatide could be a game changer for those at risk of heart attacks or strokes.
It's certainly a possibility.
Wow.
And the benefits don't stop there.
Oh.
There's promising evidence that tirzepatide could be a breakthrough for people with non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. Or NASH.
NASH, that's a serious form of fatty liver disease, right?
Exactly.
I know it's often linked to obesity and insulin resistance.
And it can lead to liver scarring and even liver failure if left untreated.
Wow.
What's remarkable is that studies have shown tirzepatide can reduce both fat buildup and inflammation in the liver.
So it might not just prevent further damage, but potentially reverse some of the existing harm.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
And the implications are huge, considering that until now there have been very limited treatment options for NASH. It's incredible to think that a medication initially designed for weight loss could have such far-reaching benefits for other serious health conditions.
It really is. And we're just scratching the surface of tirzepatide's potential. For example, there's a condition called obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA, that's often associated with obesity. It disrupts sleep, leading to daytime fatigue and other health problems.
I'm familiar with OSA. It can be quite debilitating. I know people who rely on CPAP machines to help them breathe properly during sleep.
Well, in the Surmount-OSA trial, tirzepatide significantly improved sleep apnea symptoms in participants.
Wow.
They experienced a reduction in those breathing interruptions during sleep, potentially reducing or even eliminating the need for a CPAP machine in some cases.
It's amazing. Better sleep, improved heart health, healthier liver. It seems like the benefits just keep coming.
And we can't forget the profound psychological impact. Imagine how empowering it must be to finally gain control over your weight. And see these positive changes in your overall health.
There's a sense of accomplishment of taking charge of your health and well-being.
Exactly. And participants in the Surmount trials reported incredible transformations. Not just in their physical health, but also in their self-confidence and their ability to participate fully in their lives.
They talked about having more energy, being able to keep up with their kids or grandkids, feeling more comfortable in social situations. These are quality of life changes that go far beyond a number on the scale.
They absolutely do. It's like Tirzepatide is giving people their lives back,
Wow.
helping them break free from the physical and emotional constraints of obesity and metabolic disease.
It's truly remarkable. It's like a ripple effect.
Yeah.
One positive change leading to another,
Right.
creating this upward spiral of health and well-being.
That's a perfect analogy, and it all stems from this innovative approach of harnessing the body's own systems to restore balance.
Yeah.
But of course, with any medication, especially one as powerful as tirzepatide,
Yeah.
there are always considerations and potential downsides.
Right. We need to be realistic. No medication is a miracle cure.
Of course.
And there are always potential side effects to consider.
Absolutely. And it's crucial to remember that tirzepatide is still relatively new.
Yeah.
We need more long-term data to fully understand its effects and any potential risks associated with extended use.
So while the results are incredibly promising,
Yeah,
it's essential to approach this with a balanced perspective.
exactly. And of course, it's crucial to have open and honest conversations with your doctor to determine if tirzepatide is the right choice for you,
Yeah.
taking into account your individual health history and lifestyle.
It's about finding the right approach for each person, recognizing that what works for one individual might not be the best fit for another.
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
But even with those caveats, the arrival of tirzepatide feels like a turning point in our understanding of metabolic health.
It's a paradigm shift. It's not just a new drug. It's a new way of thinking about how we can support the body's own mechanisms to achieve lasting change.
Right.
And the research doesn't stop here.
No, it doesn't. And speaking of ongoing research,
Okay.
there's one more Surmount trial we should discuss. One that really put tirzepatide to the ultimate test.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Which trial is this?
This is a Surmount-5, the head-to-head comparison of tirzepatide against the current leading GLP-1 agonist, Semaglutide.
Wow, this is like the heavyweight championship of weight loss medications. Everyone's been eager to see how these two titans stack up against each other.
Exactly. The medical community was buzzing with anticipation.
Yeah.
Both medications are incredibly effective, but which one would reign supreme?
Okay, drumroll please. What did Surmount-5 reveal? Which medication came out on top?
The results were quite decisive, actually.
Okay.
Tirzepatide emerged as the clear winner, achieving significantly greater weight loss than semaglutide.
Significantly greater. By how much are we talking here?
On average, participants on tirzepatide lost 20.2% of their body weight, compared to 13.7% for those on semaglutide.
That's almost a 7% difference.
Yeah.
That's a pretty substantial edge for tirzepatide.
It is. And remember, we're talking about individuals who are already struggling with obesity, so that additional percentage can make a real difference in their lives and their overall health outcomes.
But it's not just about the average weight loss, right?
Yeah.
Were there any other notable differences between the two groups?
Yes, there were. A higher percentage of people taking tirzepatide achieved significant weight loss milestones. For example, a larger proportion reached a 25% reduction in body weight, a threshold associated with even greater health benefits.
So Surmount-5 really solidified tirzepatide's position as a leading treatment for obesity, demonstrating its superior efficacy compared to even the most effective GLP-1 agonists.
Exactly. And I think it really highlights the potential of that dual action mechanism, engaging both GLP-1 and GIP.
Right.
It seems to elicit a more comprehensive and profound metabolic response.
It's like it's working on multiple fronts, addressing the complex interplay of hormones and metabolic pathways involved in weight regulation.
Precisely. And that deeper understanding has implications far beyond just obesity.
Right.
It opens up exciting new avenues for research and development of medications that target these pathways to address other metabolic conditions.
So tirzepatide isn't just a solution. It's a catalyst for innovation in the field of metabolic medicine.
Yeah.
It's pushing us to think differently about how we approach these complex health challenges.
You've hit the nail on the head, and that's what makes it such a fascinating area of exploration.
Yeah.
We're moving beyond simply treating symptoms and delving into the intricate mechanisms that drive disease, seeking to restore balance and promote true well-being.
It's about working with the body, not against it.
Exactly.
And that brings us to perhaps the most fascinating aspect of tirzepatide's story, its impact on the brain.
Ah, yes, the brain.
Yeah.
The control center of it all.
Right.
We've talked about how tirzepatide works its magic in the gut and throughout the body, but its effects on the brain,
Yeah.
particularly the areas that govern hunger and reward,
Right.
are equally remarkable.
Okay, this is where things get really interesting. We're talking about the psychology of eating, those cravings and urges that can be so hard to resist.
You got it. And to understand how tirzepatide works in the brain, we need to delve into the world of dopamine.
Dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. I've heard it described as the brain's feel-good chemical.
That's a good way to think about it. And you see food, especially those highly palatable, calorie-dense foods we often crave, triggers a surge of dopamine in the brain. It's what makes those sugary treats and fatty snacks so incredibly tempting.
The infamous dopamine rush. It explains why it's so hard to resist that extra slice of cake or that bag of chips.
Exactly. But here's where tirzepatide enters the picture. It can actually modulate the dopamine response in the brain's reward centers.
Modulate. What do you mean by that?
Essentially, it dampens the intensity of that pleasure signal associated with food.
Got it.
It's not about eliminating pleasure altogether, but rather about recalibrating the brain's response, making those unhealthy foods less alluring, less intensely rewarding.
So it's like tirzepatide is working on both the physical and psychological levels to support healthy eating habits.
That's precisely it. It's addressing both the physiological drive to eat, those hunger pangs we all experience, and the emotional connection we often have with food, especially those highly processed, addictive types of foods that tend to hijack our reward system.
It's a two-pronged approach. And it's fascinating to think that a medication could have such a profound impact on the brain's reward circuitry.
It truly is. And it speaks to the interconnectedness of our body systems. What happens in the gut doesn't stay in the gut. It has cascading effects throughout the body, including the brain.
It's all connected. And with tirzepatide, we're starting to understand how to harness those connections to achieve meaningful and lasting change.
And that's just the beginning.
Wow.
We've covered the gut, the body, and now the brain. But tirzepatide's story doesn't end there. There's so much more to explore, so many potential avenues for future research and discovery.
I have a feeling our deep dive isn't over just yet.
You're right. We focus primarily on obesity and diabetes, but there are hints that tirzepatide's benefits might extend even further, potentially playing a role in treating other conditions that share these underlying metabolic dysfunctions.
Oh, this is getting really intriguing. What other conditions are we talking about here?
Well, for one, there's growing interest in tirzepatide's potential for treating polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS. It's a hormonal disorder affecting women of reproductive age, and it often involves insulin resistance and weight gain.
That makes sense. Since tirzepatide tackles insulin resistance so effectively, it seems logical that it could help manage some aspects of PCOS.
Exactly. And there's even early research exploring tirzepatide's role in addressing certain neurodegenerative diseases.
Wow.
Like Alzheimer's disease.
Now that's a giant leap. How could a medication designed for weight loss possibly impact something as complex as Alzheimer's?
The connection lies in inflammation. Chronic inflammation is believed to contribute to many chronic diseases, including Alzheimer's. And tirzepatide has demonstrated anti-inflammatory effects throughout the body, not just in the gut.
So by reducing overall inflammation, could tirzepatide slow the progression of these diseases or even help prevent them?
It's still early days, but the possibilities are certainly intriguing. And that's what's so exciting about scientific discovery. One breakthrough can unlock countless avenues for exploration and innovation, leading to unexpected connections and potential treatments for seemingly unrelated conditions.
It's like a domino effect. One discovery toppling into another, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
Precisely. And tirzepatide seems to be one of those dominoes, setting in motion a wave of new research and potential breakthroughs in the field of metabolic medicine and beyond.
This entire deep dive has been a real eye-opener. We've explored the intricate world of incretins, witnessed the groundbreaking results of the Surmount trials, and glimpsed the potential of tirzepatide to reshape not just how we treat obesity and diabetes, but potentially a whole spectrum of chronic diseases. It's remarkable.
It truly is, and
Yeah.
I hope our listeners have come away with a deeper appreciation for the complexities of metabolic health and the incredible advances being made in this field. But it's important to remember that knowledge is most powerful when it's applied.
Right. So for anyone struggling with obesity, diabetes, or any metabolic condition, what's the takeaway message here? What should they do with this information?
First and foremost,
Yeah.
talk to your doctor
Okay.
about the latest treatment options available. Discuss your concerns, your health history,
Right.
and explore whether tirzepatide might be a suitable option for you.
Okay.
It's a personalized conversation,
Yeah,
not a one-size-fits-all solution.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And never underestimate the power of those foundational lifestyle changes.
Right.
Diet, exercise, stress management, these are all essential pieces of the puzzle.
They are. And what's so encouraging about tirzepatide
Yeah.
is that it can actually make it easier to adopt and maintain those healthy habits.
Right.
It's like it provides a supportive framework,
Yeah.
making those lifestyle changes feel less daunting and more achievable.
Yeah. It's like having a partner in your health journey, a tool to help you reach your goals.
Yeah.
But as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listeners with a final thought,
Okay.
something to ponder as they continue to explore this fascinating world of metabolic health.
I like that. What's your thought-provoking question?
We've seen how tirzepatide is revolutionizing our approach to metabolic disease,
Right.
but its impact may reach far beyond what we can currently imagine. So I ask, could tirzepatide's influence on inflammation hold the key to unlocking treatments
Ooh.
for a whole new range of chronic conditions,
Yeah.
conditions we haven't even considered yet?
That's a question worth pondering, and it underscores the importance of staying curious, staying informed, and always being open to new discoveries. The world of science constantly evolving,
Right.
and with each breakthrough, we inch closer to a future where chronic diseases no longer hold the power they once did.
That's a future I'm excited to see unfold. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of tirzepatide. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep seeking those answers that lie just beneath the surface.